Hey guys, Sean again, Custom Offsets TV on the YouTube. Got episode 35 for you of Hot and New. And this is going to be another hot wheel. What I'm going to try to do is talk more about the American Force series. This is the SS series versus this one particular wheel. This happens to be the Tracks, T-R-A-X, and it's not on the site right now, but it's one of those that you can still order by just clicking that quote form or shooting us an email at sales@customoffsets.com. And the reason is there's so many different styles and designs even within this category. So this is an American Force wheel and it's the SS series wheels. This one happens to be a 6 lug. If you look, sometimes the 8 lug, the designs will change a little bit even for the same model wheel, and that's just because of lining up the spokes and the lug nuts and sometimes strength and whatnot. So I'm going to speak really in general. So these are the 22 by 12 and it's an SS. The price on something like this for 4 of them shipped to your door is just under 3,000 bucks. It's about $29.84. But when you package it up with tires, because it's a higher cost wheel, we're able to give even more discount on the tires. So a lot of times you'll want to come out to our website and build a complete package, both wheels and tires, to see what that total package will cost, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with how much we're able to deduct from the tires when you bundle it up, and then free mount, free balance, free ship, all of that in the lower 48 states. So this is a 22 by 12 and it's a -40 offset, so a little different. They use -40. And the lip on that wheel is about 6.5 inches. So for a 12 wide, it's a very aggressive lip. The reason they can do that, and the reason that this is a little thinner than like a cast wheel, is because this is a forged wheel. So instead of taking a mold and melting aluminum and pouring it into the mold and forming a wheel, which is how they create most of the lower end, medium priced wheels, those are cast into a mold. So hot molten liquid poured into that mold. What they're doing here is they're taking a puck of aluminum and they're having it heated to like 700 degrees or something like that. And then a gigantic press comes down and presses that into the shape of the wheel. So it's using that insane pressure to forge the wheel, and these are forged wheels. Then once they have that rough shape, they put it on a CNC machine, and that lathe comes around and does the intricate designs and finishes off the wheel. So what they're able to do is take and press a whole bunch of these where this will pretty much be solid, and then they can come through and cut the design with the CNC to create the final wheel. And that's why in this SS series, you'll see there's like 24. There's like 24 different patterns you can do, and they're all the same price. So they're all that $29.84 because it's just a different cut design in the same wheel using the same process. So this is a chunk of aluminum that they then go through and they polish it. So they use a high-speed polisher and a compound. You know, they'll start with something that really cuts it to get it rough, and then they'll keep getting more and more. This is what we use, and we've had people use this with the high-powered polishers and get it right to that mirror finish that these things come out of the box with. So using that, they polish this mirror finish. Well, what happens is aluminum, over time, it'll get oxidation on it and whatnot. So what you've got to do is you've got to stay up on it. We just cleaned this one up from just kind of sitting out on display, and you can see the massive amount of whatever that O word is, that has built up on it. So what you do is you apply this stuff very heavy, you know, you get enough even amount on there, then you take another really soft microfiber and you take that, the excess, the polish off, then you take another microfiber, and a lot of times what I do is I use 2 of them and I stack them together so that it's super soft, and then I fold it a bunch of times, and then you come through with that super clean one and you basically buff it. Even when you're doing that, because it's polished aluminum, you're going to put micro scratches in it, and at some point you've got to take a power polisher and get it hot enough and really buff this thing so that it gets back to this brand new mirror finish. So hear me say that this is an aluminum wheel that's been polished. This is not a chrome wheel. There's no chrome plating. So what you're constantly doing is you're constantly affecting that soft aluminum surface when you're cleaning it, and eventually you'll have to go and get it repolished to get it back to that beautiful look. And if you look very close at any of these, even when you get them, you're going to see the character. You're going to see some of the milling marks from when it was milled out. You're going to see some of the very micro scratches, because this thing was, you know, polished to a shine using high-speed polishing. So that's the character of the wheel, and you'll see some of that on the back of the wheel too. If you look on the back of it, you'll see the milling process and whatnot. So, you know, it's a really strong wheel because it's forged, and it creates a really unique wheel because of the characteristics it's creating when they go through and they basically CNC this thing. So just wanted to share that. A lot of people don't understand that this is an aluminum polished wheel. This is not a chrome wheel, and it's totally different of how you have to care for it. And you can always go out on YouTube and see how these are made and whatnot and kind of get an idea. So I gave you price point. The other option is to get these in different black finishes, black textured and black gloss black, and there's just a whole litany. What you want to do is add about $600 if you go with the black, because now you're getting in the powder coating, so it's about $150 a wheel. So it adds about $600 to the package. So it's somewhere around, you know, $3,500, $3,600 to get it in the black textures, and Junior will post those up to show you some of the options. But there's about 24 different models. They're all, you know, the same -40, the same lip size. You can get them in the different lugs and the different spoke patterns. You can see that all of them will have exposed lug nuts, which is the beauty of these forged wheels. And then they have the spike lug nuts that you can add on there. Really finishes out. And it's got a really badass, you know, smaller American Force cap that looks really good. And it's just, you know, this is why these are so popular. There's nothing else that looks like a Force when it's all said and done. It's just a beautiful wheel. There's a couple other companies starting to come out with some really sick wheels also in this polished aluminum, you know, the forged machined wheel, CNC'd wheel lineup. So it's a sick wheel, very, very, very popular, very, very, very strong wheel. It's just a cool process and cool wheel. Any questions, Junior? Did I miss anything? There's also a bunch of other series. So there's faceplate series. We'll get into those. We showed you one of the faceplate before and kind of talked through that, so you can look through the videos and find that it's the FP faceplate. But you can also come out to the site and just see there's hundreds of American Force. If you choose by brand and by size and then your bolt pattern, you can see all the options. And if you go on their site and see something that you like that's not on our website, just shoot us an email, because we can obviously get those. We're trying to always add new styles, but these guys are really fast, and you can get in a custom color, custom paint, all that stuff. So if you can dream it, we can help you get into it and then give you a sweet deal on the whole package price. So that is an American Force SS wheel. Did I miss anything?
Full pad, single drill.
Yeah, so they'll all be single drill because they're all exposed lug nut. So you'll never get into a dual drill for the American Force lineup. And that may be true with any of the forged wheels, as far as they're stronger, so they really just stick with the exposed face, and usually a smaller cap, so that you can run spike lugs and they stick way out compared to some of the other wheels. They look pretty sick. So, is that it, Junior? Remember to follow us, youtube.com/custom offsets. Peace.